You are responsible for securely sharing data. When we need to share sensitive files, most of us go straight to email. It feels formal, proper. When you send an email, while it's travelling through the internet, the information is protected with encryption. However, once it arrives at its destination, it's no longer in your control. It really depends on what the recipient is doing to protect their email. Do they have a strong password for their account? Do they keep every email they've ever been sent? Does the email provider do a good job at protecting their inbox? Is the inbox encrypted? The issue here is that it's out of your hands. It's uncontrolled. So it's not great in terms of risk. Imagine you emailed someone a copy of your passport as part of starting a new job. What if that company kept that email in their email records from then on? So, what is a better way to share our documents and data? Because you don't have that control of what happens at the other end or in the receiver's inbox, lots of us use cloud services to transfer files. So rather than putting your files in an email or message, you place them online and it's stored securely. Your files are encrypted so that you have secure access to these, both while you're transferring them and when it's stored online. And unlike email attachments, you don't have to worry about any file size limits. Some examples of cloud storage services are SharePoint, Google Drive, WeTransfer, or Dropbox. Of course, you're trusting these companies to look after your data too, so it's important to pick someone you trust. We can use messaging apps to send data too. So it might be chatting, or it might be sending files or photos. You might be chatting one-to-one, or maybe you're part of a group chat. But how secure are the messages that you send? Who else might be able to read them? We can think of messenger apps as taking two forms. In some apps, while the message you send might appear private, it might be that the company running the messenger service might be able to see the contents of each message. Some apps use end-to-end encryption. This means that before your message is sent, it is encrypted and can only be unlocked by the other user. So the company who operates the messenger app aren't able to see the contents of that message. The information inside it is locked. Of course, when we use these apps, we can't always tell. From a user's point of view, they all seem the same. So which ones are encrypted and which ones aren't? Do you know? So if you were asked to send information securely and you don't want anybody else to read the contents of it, then you can use messenger apps that have end-to-end encryption, like WhatsApp, Signal, or iMessage. But let's say you have to talk to someone on an insecure channel and you don't know if someone is going to be able to read it. How can you send a message and be confident that they will be the only one to see it? Another optional feature that you can turn on for more privacy is disappearing messages. This adds an extra layer of security and assurance that the data is safe because it no longer exists. We know that apps like Snapchat or Instagram have features where you can send a message or a photo and add it to your story and they can disappear after 24 hours. This doesn't prevent anybody taking screenshots of the message, so it's better to use this when you trust everyone in the conversation. Gmail has a confidential mode that lets you send a message and an expiration date so this email doesn't stay in the recipient's inbox forever. If you send this type of confidential message to another Gmail user, it will appear like a typical email and it will show them when the message will expire. If the person uses a different email service, then they won't be able to view it normally. Instead, they get sent an email containing a link and a separate email or text message with a passcode. Then they can follow the link and enter the code to unlock the message. The link stops working after the expiration date. In this course, we spoke about the most important steps to take to protect your data. We spoke about using encryption to store your data securely on laptops, phones, and storage devices. We showed you how to turn on encryption on your computer using Windows BitLocker and Apple's File Vault. Then we looked at ways that you can share your data on secure connections using encrypted messaging apps, such as WhatsApp, Signal, or iMessage.